Hi, it's Map Designer here from Geegeez Gold, and in this very short video I want to show you how to shortlist an entire day's racing in just a few minutes, even on a busy Saturday. And I'm going to show you how to do it one day a week for free. So essentially what I'm going to use here is the feature of the day on Geegeez Gold on a Thursday, which is the Instant Expert tab. This is a tab available for every race in the UK and Ireland each day, and as I say, as feature of the day on Thursday, all free registered users at Geegeez can get access to this. So how do we do this? The first thing we need to do is point our browser at geegeez.co.uk. Once there, enter your username and password. If you're not yet registered, click the register link to the right on the home page. I'm going to log in with my free account login. And that takes me to my Geegeez page. Now there's all sorts of stuff happening on here, including a user guide which I recommend you read, and plenty of video tutorials here, all of which will point you in the right direction. I'm going to click the race card and form tools link on the right hand side, and that will bring up today's race cards. Now you can see that they're all there, and one thing you'll notice straight away is that one of the races has a big yellow bar through it. This is the race of the day, and that race has, if I click on that, even as a free user, I have all of the tabs unlocked for this race, and there's one race each day. It's the second most valuable UK race each day, where you can have access to everything. So you've got pace analysis here, which is a discussion for another video. In fact, in your My Geegeez area you'll find a video all about pace, but today's video is about Instant Expert. So if I return to the race cards menu page, what I want to do is I want to show you how you can go through an entire day's racing in just a few minutes. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to choose an example race. I'm going to take this one at Clonmel, to explain what I'm looking for, and that's going to take a minute or two maybe. And then once I've done that, I'm going to whiz through. Today there are 5 meetings. I'm going to whiz through 5 meetings in no time flat, and you'll see how quickly it is to shortlist once you have an idea what you're looking for. So let's use this example race again, and I'll quickly articulate, or try to articulate, the kind of things I'm looking for. Now the first thing to say, if you've never seen this before, the grid is laid out showing each horse in the race, their entire form history based on today's going, class. Now this is an Irish race, and class is based on the race value, so it's a bit of a contrivance. For UK races it obviously maps directly to the race classes that they've run in. Today's course, the race distance, and the field size. You'll notice that there are 2 boxes for 4 of the 5 elements. That's to enable you to select a wider range if you would like to. So for instance, if you're not sure what the ground is going to be, you can extend it from good to soft to heavy, or however you wish. I'm going to use the defaults for this example. The rightmost column compares today's official rating with the last winning official rating, and then flags up the difference between the two. So that's something to keep in mind, although we won't really look at that in this video. If you're a place pot or an each way punter, you can change the win option to place, as simply as that, and then you'll be presented with some interesting data around the place performance of the horses in the race. For instance, Noble Call, who is an 80 to 1 shot in this handicap, has actually placed on both runs at Clonmel, and also has reasonable placed form in the ground, this kind of level, and at this distance. So I've done nothing to look at his recent form, but suffice it to say that he if he retains any ability or is in any kind of form, then he won't be inconvenienced by today's conditions. And 80 to 1 is obviously affords you basically a free go to very small money. Right, so that's what I'm looking for. So I'm going to look on the win market, and one other thing that I'm looking for actually is I'm looking specifically for a line of green or orange. Green is good, orange or amber is quite good, and red is not so good. Now, again, you need to be a bit careful with red. For instance, if we look at Noble Cool again on his win stats, you'd say that he's got absolutely no chance. Which, if you look at his price, you'd say the same thing. But if you look at the place data, we can see that whilst not a winning machine, he is consistently making the frame, or at least relatively consistently making the frame. So that's just a point to be aware of. The win view is kind of a binary view. It shows, and I like it for that. It shows horses that have the winning habit, as opposed to those that consistently run well but without quite getting the job done. Now, it's entirely up to you how you do it, of course. So if you're more interested in big priced horses that you want to try to get in the frame for whatever reason, exactas, trifectas, place pots each way, then the place button will help you greatly with that. As I say, I'm going to focus on the win, and I'm going to focus on green and this contrast principle that I've talked about before. So I'm not just looking for a horse with a line of green, I'm looking for a horse with a line of green in a race where most of his rivals seem to have little or no chance, as indicated by generally by red, but often by a combination of red and grey. Right, so if that makes sense, let's return to the top of the page and we'll quickly whiz through these. What are they going to be? An average of 7, I guess. These 30 plus races anyway, and we'll do this in probably not much more than a minute or two. So that's not going to afford me a lot of time to commentate on what I'm doing, but hopefully you'll see straight away. In this is a maiden hurdle. Sorry, one other point to make before I whiz through is that, generally speaking, handicaps where the level of form is more exposed would be a more reliable environment to trust this data, because the horses have essentially shown most of the horses have shown most of what they can do, and therefore we're looking at those that have already proven that they can handle conditions, as opposed to a race like this where most of the horses have had very few runs and could be capable of significant improvement under a change of conditions. If that makes sense, then we'll kick on. Now, in this race, Garen Crest has shown he handles the conditions. A lot of the others could be capable of stepping up. The price, you might be interested. The 12.45, it's a bit of a mixed bag there. I wouldn't really get too excited about anything there. On the contrast principle, this is the race we were looking at before. Leave at Dawn stands out. He's also odds on in a handicap hurdle with 16 runners. That I'd be happy to let him win without my money on him. This is the 150. Again, nothing really standing out. 220. Claire Pet might be worth a second look, but nothing really. That's a beginner's chase as well, so again, take care. The 255, now this is interesting. Trucking All Night is a 16 to 1 shot and has proven his liking for course and distance, field size, and the going. So there are a few in there that tick some of the boxes, but at the price, Trucking All Night would definitely be worth a second look. And you can use, as a free member, you can use full form filter to drill down into his and any of the other runners' form to get a better handle on. So, for instance, this is his recent form, and that's why he's 16 to 1. But if we look at his last win, it was in a handicap hurdle over 3 miles at Clonmel on soft. Now he's back over 2 miles today, so we might want to look at his distance form. We can see he's won twice at the distance, both on soft ground. So, trucking all night wouldn't be without a chance. Let's get focused on the instant expert. So that's one. That's one at Clonmel. This is a maiden hurdle. Nothing of note. So we've got one at Clonmel potentially. Let's move on to Leicester. Click the instant expert. Taj Badalandabad, easy for me to say, has got a line of green there. Apart from he's never run at Leicester. It's a novice hurdle, so I take care. I can tell you I've backed this horse in a double today for small money. Stowe here is interesting, obviously well suited by conditions. The price is short enough. I wouldn't be getting excited about that, but he's certainly worth further inspection in a field where most are fairly exposed. Ringer Bay doesn't have obvious liking for soft ground, although he has won, so you can't say he's got no chance. Again, nothing to stoke me there. And again, nothing there. Now, Bin End might be of interest in the closing 340 a handicap hurdle. He's a 14 to 1 shot. The grade is right for him. He's won 3 times at the course. Distance, field size, going, all got proven affection for it, and he's actually £11 lower than his last winning mark. Now, it might be in terrible form, but if there's a change to a material change to conditions today, the going is soft, and though he was running on soft there, 2 miles is the same. He's dropped in class. You'd be taking a chance. The jockey's a great jockey, so maybe Bin End is of interest. Certainly could outrun 14 to 1 odds. Whether that means he can win or place is another question. Moving on, Market Rasen. You'll appreciate this is taking slightly longer because I'm kind of verbalizing my thoughts, which happen a lot quicker in my head than they come out of my mouth. Blue Atlantic, again, this is a juvenile hurdle, so there's any amount of lurkers in here. He sets a reasonable chance, but you can see on the speed ratings that he's only third best of those 2 have run, so he can win. He's well suited by condition, but I'd not be getting too excited at 3 to 1. Nothing especially of interest in that novice hurdle. Is a limited handicap chase. Knockalongi has proven his liking for the conditions he's run against. He's not run on soft, not run at the course. 7 to 2. I wouldn't get too excited about that. Ditto Royal Palladium has got plenty of form against these conditions, but 6 to 4 doesn't really float my boat. Urban Gale could be interesting in the 155 Market Rasen. Be a bit worried about the going, but it looks an open race, and he's got the highest speed rating. Sorry, the second highest speed rating, and is better suited by conditions than Volio Vincente. So might be worth a second look. Nothing really to get too excited about there. Ditto there. And ditto there, and one other point to make is on a day like today when there's so much to go at, it pays to be selective, and if you're not certain about one, then leave it alone. The Kempton card tonight looks pretty moderate stuff. Not much green anywhere really. Here's a classic. This is a very competitive race. Lots of green, lots of amber, and a bit of red. I wouldn't touch a race like that really. Too difficult. Although if we do flick to the place, we can see that Searchlight, if you're a place spot punter, he looks to have a robust place chance, but 5 to 2 is not really a win proposition with his overall form profile. This is a maiden, so none of them will have won. Likewise this one. This handicap, vaguely Spanish, is very short at 5 to 4, so I'd be happy to move on there. Here again we've got quite a competitive race. The top one has a line of amber, which says he's reasonably suited, but 8 to 1 is too short for me in that context. And the last race, there's nothing to get excited about there, so I'd be leaving Kempton alone this evening. And finally, Wincanton. There's nothing in that handicap chase at all. In fact, that looks like a Dodgers race to me. Nothing really to get excited about there. This handicap hurdle, the top one has a couple of ticks in boxes, but they're probably it's a novices handicap hurdle, so you can expect plenty of those to be stepping forward today. This is interesting. Water Wagtail and Goring One have both got some conditions in their favour, and their prices to play. But this is a very competitive race, I would say that. And again, I'd be leaving that alone. And the handicap hurdle at 245, nothing really with a compelling profile there. Likewise, the 320, there's a couple that might merit a second look. Sunny Legend, although the none from 10 in this field size is a bit of a concern. And finally, there's a flat race at the end. So we've whizzed through the cards. I've been speaking over the top, which has obviously made the video a bit longer than it would otherwise have been. I could have gone through those in probably 3 minutes, and I think I found one at Clonmel and one at Leicester, and maybe one at Market Rasen. So that really is the purpose of the instant expert, is to do exactly what it says on the tin, and provide you with an insight, at least an overview insight, as a starting point to move forward with. Now you can take that as a finishing point as well if you're short of time, and it will serve you well. It's a remarkably accurate tool when used in the right circumstances, as I've highlighted, and I wish you well with it. As I say, this is a free tool available to everyone it's a free tool on Thursdays as feature of the day, and do look at the race of the day as well, so that you can try out the instant expert in conjunction with the pace analysis, full form, and all of the icons which are available to you. For instance, the head-to-head record. Unfortunately, there is no head-to-head data today, but you can see breeding information. You can get a comment on the horse's chance, as well as the things that you'll be familiar with already, the first three icons. The other thing you can see in the race of the day that you can't see in other races are form indicators for trainer and jockey. So this is a race where the information is not available to free subscribers, but in our race of the day we can see, for instance, that Oliver Sherwood is in very good form at the moment, and remember Nokolongi had a good looking profile, so 7-2 you might mark him up a little bit, as a consequence of the trainer being in good form. Jockey's in good form, rides the course well. We can see his C1 means he rides the course. He's done well at the course in the last year. So yeah, I mean his second run off a break potentially could bounce, but equally he could be a bit better than he was when he came back from his break. As we can see, he was rated 117 there, and he ran well in a maiden hurdle, and he comes back here rated the same, and he's over fences. The change of obstacle can often bring about improvement in horses. In a race like this, which is a novices limited handicap chase, there could be plenty of others looking to do the same hurdle to chase job. But as I say, 7-2 in a short field with an obvious favourite might be reasonable enough. Anyway, enough waffle from me. I hope that's given you an insight into Thursday's feature of the day, the Instant Expert tab. I'll try to do a few more of these videos for the other daily insights. Monday we have stat of the day, Tuesday the shortlist, which is a great report, Wednesday trainer stats, another great report, Friday horses for courses, and Saturday, in my opinion, arguably the best of all the reports, the trainer jockey combo report. I'll try to do some videos for those in future, but for now, this is Matt Bisogno saying thank you for watching. If you haven't got an account already, as you can see, you are missing out, so do go over to the link on the right hand side of the homepage and click the register button and get involved. Thanks again for watching, and bye for now.